So the Edifier Neobuds are fully high-res audio certified despite being true wireless earbuds, with the added bonus that you get active noise cancellation thrown in to drown out the rest of the world. And as somebody who adores music but also dislikes fellow humans and wildlife and just about everything else going on, that sounds absolutely splendid. Now the Edifier Neobuds are launching on IndieGoGo right now as this video goes live at the impressively low price of just $99 with the added incentive of further discounts for early backers. Considering all the smart tech packed inside of these things, that really is nipple tweakingly great value. So I've had these things lodged in my head for most of the past week, and here's my full in-depth Edifier Neobuds review. And for more of the latest greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, I've got to give a special shout out to that case because, you know, at a first glance, nothing special whatsoever until you flip that lid and that motherfudging LED strip kicks into life. I mean seriously, this case is the goddamn kit car straight out of Knight Rider, and if you aren't getting geek chills right now, then basically you're dead to me. The actual Edifier Neobuds themselves are very light and compact despite all of the smarts packed in there as well, with just dinky little stems poking out from the bottom, nothing too horrendously ridiculous. They certainly don't jut out once they are lodged in your skull, and as you can see, they're fairly subtle design overall. As usual with True Wireless Earbuds, you get 3 different sizes of silicone tip bundled in the box as well, so you can find the ones that fit your own head most comfortably, and I certainly found that the Edifier Neobuds were comfortable to rock in my ears all afternoon long. And also, like a lot of buds, they are IP54 sweat and water resistant as well, so no worries if you want to rock them while you're doing a bit of jogging, even in the middle of a storm, so particularly good news if you live in Britain. And if you do like to do a bit of jogging, the great news is that the Edifier Neobuds won't jiggle free no matter how much action is going on, and just to prove that, watch test. And actually connecting the Edifier Neobuds to your smartphone or any other Bluetooth compatible device is an absolute piece of piddle. All you need to do is flip the lid. The first time you use the Neobuds, they'll automatically go into pairing mode. Otherwise, there's a dinky little button inside that case. Just give that a prod, and again, it takes a matter of seconds. And I found that that connection was perfectly stable, except under specific conditions, which I'll touch on in a bit. Now, Edifier provides strong app support for its True Wireless Earbuds as well via the Edifier Connect app, which is free to download on Google Play and from the Apple App Store. It's very easy to use and offers up all the kind of functionality you'd expect. So from the main screen, you can see exactly how much battery life is remaining in each of your buds, as well as the case itself, which is very handy. You can also activate or deactivate the noise cancellation feature as well, and if you tap settings, you can play around with the variety of features in here. You can check out the manual, play around with the touch controls, all that good stuff. And I also really like the dinky little widget that pops up in the notifications bar once you open that app. It does occasionally just kind of disappear, in which case you'll have to reopen the app to re-establish it, but it's great because it offers fast access to the high noise cancellation, low noise cancellation, and ambient mode settings. And you can also, again, check out the battery levels of the case and the buds themselves at just a glance. Now, sadly, there's no support for auto pause when you remove a bud and then auto resume when you put them back in again. So you will have to manually pause your music, or if you do have to remove a bud, start talking with someone, kind of a pain in the bum. But you do get some simple touch controls with the Neobuds, which is always good. They only support double taps and triple taps. There's no long presses or single taps. The single tap thing I don't really mind because sometimes you occasionally accidentally activate those when you're just fiddling with the buds anyway. And the touch controls are thankfully fully customizable via Edifier's app as well, which is fantastic. So for instance, I had it set up so a double tap of the left bud would cycle between the ambient mode and the noise cancelling mode. Double tap of the right one would either pause or play my music. A triple tap of the left one would go back to the previous track, and a triple tap of the right one skips ahead a track. But as I said, you can completely customize exactly what those double click and triple click options do. And you can even have a bit of a play around with the touch sensitivity as well if you find that it's not quite as responsive as you'd hoped, or a bit too responsive, but I found the default settings were absolutely perfect. And now onto the slightly tricky subject of audio quality. And the Edifier Neobuds are quite unique, certainly amongst all the True Wireless Earbuds that I've reviewed, because they use the LHDC codec, and LHDC stands for Low Latency High Definition Codec. So I shouldn't actually say LHDC codec because I'm just saying codec twice, and actually it should be LLHDC, but penance aside. The great thing about LHDC is that it can transmit 24-bit audio at up to 900 kilobits per second over a wireless connection. And that's incredible performance, and that's why it's possible to get high-res audio certified quality on a pair of True Wireless Earbuds. All sounds very spiffing and all, but the only problem is that LHDC is currently only supported by a handful of Android smartphones. smartphones and certainly none of those iPhone buggers. And most of those Android phones that do support LHDC or Xiaomi smartphones are generally the more expensive Xiaomi smartphones like this here, Mi 11 Ultra. So to test out that LHDC functionality, I got my Edifier Neobuds Pro hooked up to my Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra, and certainly the sound quality when I got that codec on the go was absolutely impeccable. Incredible stereo surround sound style effect. You can hear every tiny little detail, every instrument playing seemingly in the room right there with you. Fantastic performance, certainly for this price point. However, I did experience some breakups even when I was just sat here at home with very little interference with the phone right beside me as well, which was obviously slightly jarring. And occasionally the sound would just cut out entirely, even with Deezer still playing music in the background. I had to actually shut down the app, try restoring it and stuff before it all eventually came back together again. Although I'm not sure how much of that was just the Mi 11 Ultra playing silly buggers as opposed to the actual buds. And if you go back into that Edifier app again, you can actually change the quality of that LHDC stream. So 900 kilobits per second is the maximum setting, and you can bump it down a bit if you're experiencing breakup issues. I did find that even on 560 and 400, I did still occasionally get weird little judders, however. So clearly there are still some stability issues with LHDC that need resolving, but it doesn't really matter so much even if you don't have a smartphone that doesn't support LHDC right now, because even just using standard codecs like AAC, the sound quality here on the Edifier Neobuds Pro was absolutely fantastic. Again, for that price, you get so much detail coming through, and the bass performance is really strong as well, certainly a lot better than most of the rivals that I've tested out. So if you're into, a bit of rock music, you dance, your hip hop, anything like that, you will certainly be sated. And I found that the stability of the Bluetooth connection was perfect, again, just using AAC and those more standard codecs as well. So hopefully LHDC, those little issues will be resolved so you can take full advantage of that high-res audio certified performance. Otherwise, the Edifier Neobuds Pro still very good for this price point. And that strong performance continues with the Active Noise Cancellation as well. Once again, the Edifier Neobuds Pro punch well above their weight at this sort of price. I've had a couple recently, like the Oppo Enco X's, which were quite good as well. And here on the Neobuds Pro, with that Active Noise Cancellation switched up to the high level, which is the standard default one anyway, certainly you can stroll down a high street with a merry little spring in your step. Traffic noises will be just a distant rumble. Any other kind of clamour and caterwauling going on is definitely dampened as well. Absolutely brilliant if you're just trying to enjoy a podcast or an audiobook, something a bit quieter, and you don't want to be disturbed, you don't want to have to crank up that volume to maximum levels. It works well if you're on a train or commuting. Remember commuting? Not really, but yeah, that's still a thing. I had no problems with wind interference or anything like that either. So certainly, as I say, for this price point, the Neobuds Pro definitely punch well above their weight, and they're just as good as some buds that are almost twice the price. And you've also got that ambient mode, which I can activate with a quick double tap of that left bud at any point, and this just basically pipes in everything that's going on around you straight into your ears. It's the exact opposite of noise cancellation, basically. So quite handy if you need to, have a quick conversation with someone or listen to an announcement at a train station. But also, it doesn't lower the volume of whatever you're listening to. So if you're enjoying some music, you will have to pause that at the same time. And I found I did get some weird sort of staticky distortion noises using ambient mode as well. So quite frankly, I generally just sort of take the buds out and that would work even better. And the Edifier Neobuds Pro also come with 3 built-in mics for capturing your voice whenever you're on a call or whatever, and they seem to do the job all right. Apparently a little bit sort of muffly when I was in quite a loud environment, but apart from that, still absolutely fine. As for the all-important battery life, well, without that ANC cranked all the way up, you'll get around sort of 5 to 6 hours of life. I found it was just under 5 hours with that ANC turned up to max, which is still pretty damn good compared with some rivals around this price point, the likes of the Samsung Gear Buds and those Huawei Freebuds 4, which I recently reviewed, which just about managed to spaff out about 4 hours of music joy fun times before they needed a recharge too. And then when they do need a recharge, just chuck the Edifier Neobuds Pro back in their snazzy little case and they will power right back up. I found that the case generally gave me enough charge to last pretty much a full week, which is great because I do use my my earbuds quite a lot, listen to a lot of music. The case itself can't be charged wirelessly or anything as you'd expect at this price, but you do have a Type-C connection around back, just stick it in, job done. So that right there in a nutshell is the Edifier Neobuds Pro, my full review after using them as my full-time True Wireless earbuds for a week. And as I say, it's kind of a shame that the LHDC thing isn't quite kicking off right now. Definitely some stability issues and bugger all support on any Android device devices, but hopefully that'll be built into Android soon. So you got that future-proofing if that does ever come to fruition. But even just for standard codecs, the sound quality of these things is absolutely fantastic for the price, as is the active noise cancellation. So have a scoot on over to IndieGoGo to check out the Edifier Neobuds Pro and order them if you like as well. As I say, there's early bird discounts on the go. I'll try and remember to chuck a link down below in the video description. And in the meantime, it'd be great to hear your own personal thoughts on either these or whatever other True Wireless earbuds you've been rocking in your lug holes recently. And for more of the latest and greatest tech, please do plug subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a fantastic rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you!